You're listening to TUSD Pillars, part of the 150 years celebration of Tucson Unified School District.
Mary Belle McCorkle started working for the district as a school clerk right out of high school in 1951. From 1955 to 1987, she served Tucson Unified as a teacher, a principal, and an assistant superintendent. She was on the governing board for 12 years until 2004. Mary Belle was the first woman in TUSD to teach late into her pregnancy and to serve as an assistant superintendent with a family. Mary Belle McCorkle Academy of Excellence K-8 school was dedicated in her honor in 2010.
And of course, one of the arguments when the school was named, I shouldn't say arguments, but discussions, was that the school, if it was going to be named after a person, the person should be deceased. And that is such a false thought, because there is nothing that gives the person whom it's named for more pleasure than having that school. And I've been in good health, so I can come. I come about once a month. The kids know me. It's just such a pleasure. Every time I walk in, I have to believe it again. It's like, is this truly a school named for me and actually my family? I remember getting a phone call on a Tuesday night at about 10:15 or maybe 10:30, and I was getting into bed, but I went ahead and answered it, and it was the board coordinator, I believe, Mary Alice Wallace, who told me that the board had just voted and that the school would be named for me. It's a combination of gratitude, humbleness. It takes your breath away. And I see my name, look, Mary Belle McCorkle pre-K-8 on the bulletin board, and I'm thinking, oh, come on. When the school was dedicated, that was the theme. My theme was, this is an example of what can happen in public education. The voters voted to pay for this school. I would not have ever had a school named for me had I not been able to get a free and appropriate education. Low income can succeed in public schools as well as high income. All races, religions are free to attend public school. I think it's the backbone of democracy. And I'm very worried about it because the funding, it's like the life is being squeezed out of our public schools. We thought in the 60s and 70s, the war on poverty, that we could lick it. The schools could be that instrument that eliminated poverty. But that's too big a job for the schools. The family has to be involved, and good jobs have to be involved. Well, I suggest that we get unified in some way and come up with more money for public education. You know, people will say, oh, well, you have enough money. We don't have enough money. Kind of the tail end of my career, or maybe halfway through, women asserted themselves. Title IX came, and you know, there was all this push and stuff. But for example, my daughters, our daughters, didn't have that same perspective. They could hear about it from me, but when you haven't experienced it, you know, your momentum isn't as great. And I'm even more proud of the fact that I taught until I was 8 months pregnant. And the rule was that you quit at 4 because you were some kind of a disgrace, or you just couldn't teach with a very pregnant self. Okay, I was the first woman who was married and had children who was assistant superintendent in TUSD. Well, I just have those pictures of my being a freshman in college and working in Mission View School and seeing children of poverty and children of color, and they were so beautiful, and they responded to love and respect and learning so beautifully, and they came without English, many of them. And I guess, you know, that sort of instilled it in me, because I've always been interested in how to break the cycle of poverty and how to help everyone see that diversity is an advantage.